Very excited to have everyone with us today. For those of you who don't know us, welcome back to another Monday Mastermind call with Every Move Collective. We are going to be talking about working with unqualified buyers and really understanding financial literacy and credit today with our guest, who is the CEO of Credit Snitch. Her name is Angelique Soto. We're pleased to have her here. And before I go on to introduce her, just a little reminder. Myself, my mom Eva, and Dylan, who are all on this call, run a top producing team out of Westchester County, New York, and Connecticut. We've also got Margaret, who's on our team here as well. We run the amazing organization of Every Move Collective at eXp Realty, which brings you these bi-monthly masterminds. We do them on the second and fourth Monday of every month. We always have a guest training on a unique topic. We've got a killer lineup for this entire quarter. So if you stick around to the end, we'll share the lineup and you can check that out. But thanks all for joining. We, as always, encourage you to be as conversational as possible. You can use the chat to ask questions as we go, raise your hand, jump in. I know that Angelique is going to be doing less of like a slideshow presentation and more of like talking to us, engaging with us on this very complicated topic that doesn't need to be so complicated with the right tools. So don't feel shy to ask questions. Financial literacy is something that we're not taught in school. And so we've all had to kind of like
Absolutely.
just going through life, and we've got an expert here with us. So any questions that you have, don't hesitate to ask. So Angelique is the CEO of Credit Snitch, which really, doesn't just challenge credit mortgage denials, but actually helps with a holistic system to help realtors and clients really have a holistic understanding of financial literacy, what you can do to make yourself more lendable in the eyes of a mortgage. She's funded, over 100 million deals with Credit Snitch and beyond. And so I'll let her really give a proper introduction to herself, but we're really excited to have her here to learn about this topic. So
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Colby, for that warm introduction. Welcome, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be on this Zoom with you guys. I'm excited to tell you all about my amazing journey and how I've qualified 100 million in unqualified buyers. This journey was not mapped out for me. It was chosen for me. I am a true believer in that all that God does for me in life. And I was a corporate professional with Adobe Systems, Klein Davis and Mann, and major corporations as the business administrator for implementation of processes for major corporations. I worked with CEOs my entire life, and I thought I would be working for a Fortune 500 company to this day. I went through a divorce 7 years ago that changed my life. No one understood how credit worked. After my divorce, my credit was shot. I was a single mom and I didn't understand how credit worked. Nothing, not even my family. I would ask, and my sisters are highly, shall I say, successful, and not even they understood the principles of credit. So that was disheartening. I would speak to the CEOs I supported, and even they didn't understand how credit worked. They just paid their bills on time. But that wasn't enough for me. I couldn't afford to get an apartment or a new car. So it was really difficult for me to accept where I was as a mom, right? So after going on YouTube University and trying to figure it out, some things worked and some things didn't. I met an amazing woman in Atlanta who was the credit guru of credit. And she took me under her wings and taught me everything she knew. And we grew beyond that. And she's one of my mentors to this day. I've been doing this for about, I want to say 7 years. Once I fixed my credit, after 7 or 8 months, I went into investing, arbitraging, Airbnb in Puerto Rico, where I got about 8 properties beachfront. And I began to make income and replace my ex-husband's income, which was a 6-figure income. I never thought that I would be in that position. I did everything scared shit. That was me. And they say do it scared. And I did it scared completely. I did fail in some areas, but then I had really great mentors who led me to do better and be better. And to this day, my friends and family saw me on social media in my glow up energy as I was arbitraging Airbnbs and making amazing money. I said, "What are you doing, Angelique? This is quite amazing what you're doing." I said, "Well, I fixed my credit and I decided I was going to replace my ex-husband's income." And they're like, "Oh my goodness, fix my credit." Then friends and family and everyone started to come. And my cousin introduced me to a lender at guaranteed rate. He gave me about 2 clients and I turned them around in 30 to 60 days. He was so amazed that he shot out an email to everyone in his team, which was a large team in New York. And there was the birth of my company. I had so many clients rolling in, and I was completely reluctant, right? I felt like I had a level of imposter syndrome. I was like, wait a minute, I am a corporate professional. Why people think that I'm a credit restoration professional? And I said, I'm going to take this a little further. I decided to become a certified financial literacy educator. I am not a credit restoration professional. I am an educator of credit. I want people to understand the 5 factors that govern a credit score. I want them to be ready. I want to help people unlock doors that even I couldn't unlock, right? Realtors didn't even want to look at me. They were like, "Oh, she's not qualified. Bye-bye." But no one knew that if they had just taken the time to get to know me and help me through my journey, I would have been a friend of theirs forever. And my network is so huge. It's unbelievable what my network is. And it's those missed opportunities that began to start a light bulb effect in my head. I said, wait a minute, we need to create an environment in real estate where we are credit friendly. It may not convert now, but it will eventually convert. And we need to start having a different kind of conversation. So it was brought to my attention that I wanted to be the conduit to bring those two worlds together. Unqualified does not mean not money now. It just means money later. And that's great because when the market is not doing so well, that money later comes in at a clutch moment. And it has for so many of my realtors. At this point, we have qualified 100 million. I'm in shock. When it happened, I just was like, are you serious? Like, how is this even happening? I never thought that this is who I would be. But God chooses who he chooses, and there are his helpers in the world. I'm a huge believer in that. And I stepped into the role and mobilized my mission. We work with EXP, Veronica Figueroa in Orlando. Chase Private Client picked us up in Miami. We help the uber ultra wealthy people understand how to get rid of late payments and understand the principles of credit. We also have a private equity company and we help developers build out their credit profiles and get them funded for $1 billion. It's real over here what's happening, but you have no idea. I never thought that I would be in this position. But I understand now more than ever how credit is a racket and it needs to be discussed. And we need to be more present and be I want to say, the thought leaders to the people who come to us in these positions, right? I find that a lot of my clients, we build amazing relationships with each other once we get past this private matter of finances. Okay, clients that I never thought I would end up being best friends with come over to my house for barbecues and steaks, and I send their kids gifts and ice cream, and it's all love over here. People that I service have become like an extended family member. And it's been so fruitful and fulfilling like never before. My friend network is enriched by so much love from people. It literally makes me emotional to see how much my life has changed by pouring into people's cups. We don't charge a lot of money here either. We adjust according to people's schedules because we want people to be successful. We want to help them understand what a budget is, what it's like to pay down on credit cards and pay down on dates that are important, like before the statement close date. We want them to understand one late payment can bring down a credit score up to 120 points. These are just simple principles that our clients don't know. And it's important for our realtors to understand these things because even the simplest of information given to a client will make them dedicated and just loyal to you forever. And they'll be talking about you at Thanksgiving, at Christmas, at the hangouts and the barbecues. Next thing you know, I never have to pay for a lead. That's how amazing it has been for me. I wear my heart on my sleeve with my clients, and I'm like, let's roll down our sleeves and let's get going. And that's, I think, what they love about me so much, that I genuinely care about my clients. And people need to feel like they have someone championing their success rather than looking at them like they're a check, right? We're going to get paid regardless. But if you're fabulous at what you do, you're going to be wealthy at what you do because you pour everything in what you do, right? I never thought Credit Snitch would be where it is. But that is our philosophy. Those are our pillars. And today we got one client who has a bankruptcy 8 months ago, and she's in the 700 club today. And it wasn't very hard. This is not hard to do. We just don't understand. It's a lot of ignorance, right? And once someone can paint the full picture, which I do, I have videos on YouTube, and I share this information openly, all the tricks of the trade. But it's all about people understanding how important credit is and committing to the process to understand it and then apply it. Because those who are not born into wealth, your credit is the foundation of wealth building, right? Your budgeting is the foundation of wealth building. And, it took me to go through this journey to truly understand that so many people are used to living in lack, that they don't understand it's a path to wealth where you never have to think that way again. You and your family can be so secure financially if you just understood certain principles about finances. We have about 87% of Americans are financially illiterate, according to FINRA. And that is the highest rating I've ever seen. A few years ago, I think it was like 60 something percent. This is huge. And then we have Americans who have maxed out credit cards in the 80 percentile. So that means a lot more people are living check to check, check to check. And these statistics are constantly changing because they never have the right rating systems. So it's probably significantly more. And, it's a movement right now. We need to be educators of our clients, and we need to be open to the fact that they may not be qualified, but it doesn't mean that they won't ever be. It just means we need to put in a little work, nurture that lead in a loving way, and it's going to open up the pot of gold of referrals that you won't ever have to pay for. And I think that has been the most rewarding part of my business, on top of the fact that I just love to see people win. I love to see people win, and I would love to help people do that as well. But enough of my talking. I know it's a lot, but I just want to know if anyone has any questions. I'm so open to just sharing whatever you guys want to know. Whatever I don't know, give me your email, or I can't remember because there's so much. I'm happy to send you an email and empower you even further to build out in this area of unqualified buyers pipeline.
Angelique, thank you
Yes.
for all of that. I do have a couple of questions. I think all of us as realtors have always come across somebody who isn't, ready, but can be through a process. What is the best way? So for me, I'm oftentimes asking questions to find out what's the best way to steer them. And one of those things is usually putting them in touch with a lender. What stage of the process does your company come in? And is there like, are there ways to educate people ahead of time? If somebody says like, hey, I'm going to buy a house a month or a year from now, do you have classes? Like what is your process?
I do. So for the planners, we have planners. We have an education system where we have about 4 videos that begins to massage the brain into the concept of the 5 factors that govern the credit score, right? We will submit that to the clients. We will put them down, begin the training. Do you have a budget? Are you saving for your down payment, right? How is your realtor contributing to your down payment? Are they looking for any assistance, right? Also considering where they are in their credit scores currently. We have a third-party vendor app that we use because we do not ask for social security numbers by law. I'm not allowed to do that. So we want to make sure that we can see the full credit score and review it. We do ask that they get with their lender or our lender who does what's called a soft pull Okay, so it's not a hard pull, it's not an inquiry on their credit report, where we can see what are the disqualifying factors in underwriting. A good lender will already know what are the disqualifying factors in underwriting, or have an idea. So at the moment they see the credit score, and like, for instance, cross country, they will run a soft pull and the system will kick back. They have a credit journey program. It does just the high level overview things, and I love it because it lets me know what underwriting is going to disqualify. So when they send me that report and they send it to me privately with a code, I can see what are the disqualifying factors. And it could be like 3 items. I just go crazy. I go ham on those 3 items for a good 3, 4, 5 months, and it's gone. And they're right into pre-approval. Like, it happens literally that quick. But some lenders don't really have that type of system, and it makes it a little harder for me. Which is why I tell a lot of my realtors, hey, I have a proven system here. Allow me to use my lenders. There's a science to what I'm doing. We're going to get them to pre-approval, and it's going to happen smoothly and quickly because
Well,
our team has done this for some
let me
time.
let me jump in there for a moment because
Sure.
I'll ask a question, and then, there's any other realtors on here want to say something, please do. I'm most likely going to want to use a lender that I know.
Okay,
Because I want to be able to have access to them. I want to know what they're
for
saying
sure.
to me is accurate, et cetera, et
For
cetera.
sure.
So, do you provide, educational courses to lenders that people work with so that they know, how to kind of minimize the pitfalls,
Sure.
or like how do you partner with people without replacing
Yeah.
them?
Of course. So I've done that in some situations, and we'll get to know each other. We'll have an onboarding call, say, hey, your client is working with me and I want to know how we can collaborate in this situation. Do you do pre-approvals? Will you provide me with disqualifying factors? If not, okay, what do we think? We will game plan what we think what might disqualify the client. And we'll go over them, and then I'll go after all those negative items on the credit report for at least up to 6 months. And most likely we'll end up getting rid of the majority of them, or negotiating some of the collections, right, to be removed. I've been in those situations. Not every single realtor agrees to using our lenders. But the ones that I do collaborate with, they're professionals. They know what they're doing. And we're going to make it work. That's your relationship. By no means am I trying to step on anyone's feet here. Please don't misunderstand. But we have found a higher success rate when we worked with our lenders. But we will accommodate anyone's lenders, and we're very welcoming. We want everyone to win. So we'll do what has to be done to collaborate with them.
I'm curious, do you have and I don't want to monopolize here, so if anybody has a
No,
question,
please,
please jump
please.
in. No, I mean anybody on the call. I just want to add, is there like a checklist that, like, for us, when we have a new buyer, we go through a checklist of
Correct.
questions. Do you have a checklist that you like people to use
Correct.
in
So
that
we have
in those initial stages?
Correct, we do. We have a lender realtor onboarding portal, which is csrealtorlender.com, and I will send that out to everyone. It's an automated click funnel that gives you a free guide, and there's a checklist in there that tells you everything. And then we have also an email introduction, because our services are white glove services. So we want you to email your clients and us doing the introduction as your home buyer success program. And we pick up the relationship from there. We meet with every realtor before we get into the relationship. We understand the expectation, and we also go over the checklist, the services that are provided to you guys to support you, which are the educational videos and the free credit guide, which we provide. And there's a checklist in there as well.
There
We
is
try to
a
make it
question.
easy.
There is a question in the chat from Kimberly. It
Sure.
says, what is the cost of your service to clients that we want to refer you to?
Absolutely. So the cost to our service varies. It's just like when you bring in a car to a auto body. We need to see what's under the hood. We need to see how long this is going to take. But usually our standard prices for education system start at $199 to start, and then about $99 a month in most cases.
Okay.
Okay, we're very affordable, and that's our standard fees. It's amazing what we do, and we add so much value.
So I'm curious, you can hear me, right? Can you hear me?
Of
Hmm.
course. Yes.
When, realtors are in those early stages of conversations with potential clients and they are discovering or, being told that their client is probably not super lendable because of credit challenges that they might be facing, like, how do you typically recommend that realtors begin to explore that conversation of, helping that client understand that some of this might just be like a limiting belief and that there are actually action items that they can take to, work to improve their credit to help them achieve their real estate dreams? Like, what's the best way for a realtor to approach that, in your opinion?
Of course. So when we find that we have clients with self-limiting beliefs, it's usually associated with some sort of trauma, childhood trauma, or trauma within their life at some point. Thankfully, just so you know, Credit Snitch also offers a therapist for a $35 copay for those situations. Sometimes you need a partner who will come in and help that client get some tools to understand why is it that they're facing these self-limiting beliefs when you're capable of anything in life, right? You just have to do the work. And her name is Betsy Campisi. That's also available to every single one of your clients. And we have a boot camp course for every single client, and it's live as well once a month. But yeah, we have tools to talk to our clients. Together, I'm supporting you at the end of the day. I'm an extension of a service that you will leverage to help you get past these difficulties with clients. And we talk together. We get on emails. I ask them to book an appointment with me where I say, why is it that we think that we cannot get to the signing table? Why do we not believe that we can have a good credit score? What are some of the things you believe about credit? I want to hear what's on their mind. You don't have to ever do this type of stuff. Just introduce your client to me and I'll get straight to it. All the questions, I cut through it, and I'm a master at rebuttals when it comes to credit, because it's really more about the internal dialogue of what they're having going on up here. A lot of people have low self-esteem, trauma. We have to get past that and make them believe, right? And once I start to show them the results, the graduations, and connect them to some clients, because sometimes they want referrals, and I'm happy to share my referrals with some of our clients who will tell them, Angelique walked me through the entire process. She's amazing. And they'll let them know how much we care to see them succeed. It's not just about a check, a payment. It's about the success of the story, right?
Mhm.
We want that. So it, really depends on the client, and we do our best to get past self-limiting beliefs and champion success as a team member with them. That's the thing. We want them to understand they're not alone, and they have people who are successful at doing this with them.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I've had conversations with friends, clients who, even with credit scores in the 600s, like, don't think that they can get a loan. So there is such like an undereducation around what's possible. Like, people
Of
just,
course.
even people with decent credit don't even really realize that they're able to go out and get a loan. So I think
Absolutely.
there's just a lot of education and conversation that needs to happen around it. If we actually, as realtors, can understand that there are tools to improve credit as quickly as you're describing, then it
Yes.
empowers us to have conversations with clients where, we don't feel like we're just like bullshitting them. We're actually
Of
like,
course.
you can, you can, you can do this. And here's exactly
Mhm.
how.
And it could be as simple as adding a trade line to someone's profile, a credit card. People like, oh, I don't have credit. I have bad credit. I have bad credit. Okay. How many credit cards do you have? None. You don't have bad credit. You just don't have credit. You need to understand how to build a credit profile so that you can get all those 5 factors going, right? And that's the thing. There's an ignorance around this topic. And it's really important for us as leaders in our own businesses to educate. You have an extension here. If you want to learn more about credit, I will invite you to please book my calendar. Go to creditsnitch.com and let's have a one-on-one discussion about how I can empower you with just the basics. Because once you have a client who has rebuttals and self-limiting beliefs and you can shut it down with just the simple basics, you've got the client. Throw them in your unqualified buyers pipeline, do the white glove service introduction, and let's run the play. Because once they realize the ally you have on your team who's teaching them, wait, what? I'm learning about what? And they see the results, it's like the light bulb goes off in the first results. You know, and nothing makes me feel better. I laugh because they truly don't believe it could happen to them. And once it starts to happen, it's like magic. They turn into someone else. And when they get their first $3,000 credit card and they've never had one, they're like, oh my God. I say, yeah, you're welcome. You just paid for your service. I just helped you get a refund on your service with a credit card. This credit card just paid for my services. I show them a return in their investment in the first 3 months that they're like, holy cow. And I'm like, yes, this is what a credit leader should be doing for you, showing you just little results. Bear with me. We're going to go through it a little bit. It took a moment to ruin a credit score, but it's going to take a moment to fix it. And with all the results that we have, we're confident to send videos to show them. We're confident to send them to people to show them. But it's important for you as a leader to understand how credit works on a basic level. Because once they understand that you have basic knowledge, they'll trust you and they'll want to go to the next steps. And they won't feel like, okay, this is a scammy credit company, because there's so many of them. And they're going to go deeper and they're going to look at Credit Snitch's website. They're going to look at our automations. They're going to go on Instagram, Facebook. They're going to see who we're affiliated with. So many people, you know, results speak. And that's what we pride ourselves in, showing the results. And that's what I would love for you guys to be able to do for yourselves as thought leaders in your business, to build these beautiful relationships. I'm excited to see the amount of friendships you're going to build in your network. You're going to find angels in your network that are going to become your besties forever. I have them. And I'm like, how did I ever live life without you in my life? And I thank God every day for being in service, right? Because that's what we all are. We're angels in our own right. You're in real estate. I'm in real estate, but credit. And we're just going to sprinkle some love throughout the world and help people get to their next level. There are blessings. There's karma that you're creating that is so rich, that is going to enrich your lives. And I realize that more than ever. And sometimes not all money's good money, right? I have those difficult clients. I'm not going to paint a pretty picture. Sometimes I have clients that I'm like, Lord, have mercy. But, you know, the ones who are really ready for it are the ones that we help usher into success in their next levels. And then we're blessed in return with the unbelievable results and referrals.
Angelique, quick question. If you
Sure.
had to pick like one or two things that people don't realize are detrimental to their credit, what would those be?
It would be late payments. Late payments. One late payment can bring down a credit score up to 120 points. Late payments. Everyone's way too relaxed about late payments. I'm like, hey, if you're stealing from Peter to pay Paul, just leave it on auto pay. It'll debit the payment. You'll get a chargeback fee, but you won't get a late payment for 7 years. That's not going to happen. You're trying to avoid a late payment for 7 years. Put it on auto payment. You know, I think that is so important for people to understand. And you are going to pay fees, but it's better than having a late payment for 7 years. You know, and the other thing is ignoring hospital bills. Now that Trump has passed the law that all hospital bills have to be on the credit report, is going to be detrimental to a lot of credit reports. We need not to ignore hospital bills. I'm sorry?
Just to jump in there, because I was just having a conversation around that yesterday. That does not include physicians' bills, though, correct?
Correct.
So it's
Correct.
just hospital.
Just hospitals. And what I'm going to say to a lot of people here, for information's sake, hospitals are nonprofits. There are a lot of benefits to take advantage of there. If your insurance doesn't want, and this is something you should tell your clients as well, don't ignore hospital bills. If your insurance does not want to pay for a certain amount of the bill, then you need to itemize the bill, because they grossly overcharge in the insurance company, and then they try to charge it back to you. As a consumer, it's not the same rates for you. You can itemize your bill. You can tell finance, hey, I'd like to itemize can you send me an itemized bill? Look at what the market rate is, write it down, and then resubmit the invoice and say, this is self-pay, and this is what the market rate states this service is. Can you adjust the invoice? Once they adjust the invoice, then you have that new invoice, you can potentially submit for a charity to pay for the other part of your bill. You know, I don't know why people don't take advantage of this. Maybe a lot of people don't know about it. I've done it for several of my clients who are elderly, and they're trying to protect their credit scores because all of their equity in their home is just sitting there, and they can't access it if they ignore the hospital bill because now their credit score falls, right? So we have to teach our clients how to protect their credit scores when it comes to hospital bills. That's been a really big one, right? And then student loans. You know how many people, clients that I have, even friends who have called me to say, I did not know that my student loan was due for a payment. I never received a notice about it. And now I have 4 late payments and my credit score dropped. I have one entrepreneur here in Tampa who's very successful with doing hair. She's one of them. They had 4 late payments. We were working on her business credit. She was about to get qualified for $150,000 and buy a salon. They hit her with 4 late payments and it all went to hell. I've never seen someone so deflated. She cried for 2 days. It is the worst experience ever, but it doesn't mean that we can't remedy it. We sent so many letters out to CFOs, COOs, CEOs. I went crazy. I was a thug with a pen, and we got it off of her credit report. And now we're back on the path. And her name is Diana. She's B-Day Experience on IG. She is such a boss at 27 years old. I'm so proud of her. And I love being her champion, you know, championing her success is everything. But that's just small things. There's so many more things like collections. Don't ignore your collections. If you get a collection letter, 30 days you have to answer, or else your silence is saying it's yours and they're going to post it on your credit report. Okay, you have to answer them and ask them, hey, can you validate this debt? Usually most collection companies don't have all your information to validate the debt. And especially if it's a hospital bill, right? HIPAA laws, honey. Go ahead, send me all the information, break the law. I welcome all of that good stuff because when they send too much information, they break HIPAA laws and then they have to remove it, right? Or they can get sued. I have lawyers on deck who are waiting for violations for me to send over the clients to just make a quick $15,000, $20,000. It's getting real, you know, and these are just some of the issues we're having with a lot of our clients. Any other questions?
Yeah, actually, when I asked that question, what came to mind was I've heard comments on like, don't pay off your, like, whether or not you should keep your credit card open, whether it doesn't have a balance or not, whether or not you should close a credit card down, things that would really surprise me. You know, having a credit card that I haven't touched, but I've never shut it down. Is it better to shut it down or not? Those are the kinds of like, are there like those hidden kind of things that people do all the time and don't even
Absolutely.
realize?
So what people don't realize, shutting down a credit card is shutting down the entire reputation. It could potentially be shutting down the entire reputation of your credit history. You could have a 13-year-old credit card and you thought, I'm just sick. I don't even use this credit card. And it's a store card, so you can't use it everywhere. But it holds a tremendous, it's called length of history, a tremendous amount of time it holds of your history. And now you shut it down and it's gone. It's like it never existed. And now all of a sudden your credit score drops significantly and you lost all of that 13 years of reputation. But if you have a late payment on that bad boy, that's the only thing that won't go away. It'll stay there for 7 years, which is unfair. And I often tell people the credit system is just a modern day financial Jim Crow. Slavery had to go somewhere, you know, and I say it's our responsibility, you know, to understand how the credit system works and abide by those rules and protect your credit because it's not fair. It's a racket, right? And it's a system that pays into each other to keep our credit scores low so that we pay higher finance rates. That sounds like financial slavery to me. So we have to be in the know, and ignorance is the leading issue. And that's why you as leaders need to understand that you have more of a responsibility to your clients than just selling them a home. You are the leader of many things of their next level when it comes to a house, and that includes their finances. How are you going to protect that? How are you going to be your brother's keeper? By educating them. You will be rewarded, believe it or not, whether you like it or not. And I love that. That's what I love about this whole situation. And people will value you. You will have loyal clients forever. They will send you their children's children forever. You're building real relationships there and genuinely caring about people.
I
Any
love it.
questions?
I just had a lot of like, whoa, I can't believe some of what you just shared.
I know. And trust me, I have cried for my clients because I have seen how unfair it's been. But I also realize to whom much is given, much is expected. And I often feel the burden, right? Because I have to perform. But God don't never let me down. Never. I always perform. And that's because I truly understand what I'm doing because I lived it, right? So, I'm happy to sit down with every single one of you. Please book me, creditsnitch.com. Let's have a meeting. You can book me directly. We can have so much conversation. If you have a personal credit score that is not above 700, please call me, because everyone on this call should have a high credit score. You should understand how the credit system works. You should be an advocate for every single client's hand you touch. You are going to be a machine by the time I'm done with you. And then you got a bulldog right behind you championing their success on top of that. What more could you want? I'm dedicated to this. This isn't a part-time job. This is what I do for a living. I was chosen to do kingdom work. And I'm in support of every single person in the world for their success. And through that, God is going to bless me tremendously. I'm happy. I'm a happy server. Yeah.
Does anybody else have questions?
I had one
Pop on.
question from earlier. You had mentioned about, like, I know paying on time, and you had said something about paying before the statement date or something like
Yes.
that.
Yes.
And I
So a
just
lot
wasn't
of,
sure exactly what you
no, it's
meant.
fine. So there's a due date on a credit statement, right? Due date.
Uh-huh.
And there's a statement close date, right? When they start reporting to the credit companies how much of your credit limit you've used, right?
Hmm.
People often use the due date. They pay their credit cards minimum payment on the due date. It's the worst thing you could ever do in your life. Is it important? Yeah, you must pay the bill every month, but not on the due date. You pay that statement as much as you pay that
As
bill
early as
as much as
possible.
possible the day before the statement close date. Okay,
Okay.
because once you pay it down before the statement close date, once the statement close date hits, they report it back to the credit companies, right? And you're paying
Hmm.
interest daily on that credit card. So why not knock it down as much as you can
Okay.
before the statement close date so you're paying
Hmm.
less interest? And then we have what's called velocity banking. It has a lot to do with that, okay? For people who are holding high balances, it's holding their credit scores hostage. And this is where we're dealing with debt to income ratio issues. I had to create a separate company under my company called DTI, debt to income, where I literally help people who only have high credit scores trying to access the equity in their homes with a loan, a personal loan. Okay. And then they have to pay me a percentage. It's usually 15 to 18% on the loan, but they get their equity, they pay me back, and now they have access to their equity to do everything else, which is pay down whatever else they have that's
Hmm.
looming over them financially. Right? We have to be innovative in what we're creating for our clients, and we have to teach them how to get out of these situations, right? So debt to income is a really huge issue. I know I've deviated a little bit, but you must learn about velocity banking. If you do not know and you have maxed out credit cards and you're trying to understand how to pay them down, and you're paying them down on the due date, sweetheart, you are doing yourself an injustice. You should be paying a day before the statement close date as much as possible. And I could even show you how to pay down your credit cards in a matter of 6 to 8 months without additional funds. Just bringing down that interest payment. It's magical. I've done it for myself. And I've done it for so many of my clients without additional monies being, needed. We also dig into the 401k and we teach our clients about 401ks. You'd be surprised how many clients don't understand how to borrow against their 401ks, don't know anything about it, but they've been contributing for the past 15 years, right? Then we have clients who don't even know about life insurance policies, but they have families and assets. And I'm like, you're about to leave your family with a major burden. Why don't we have life insurance policies? Do we not know that this is filling the what do they call it? The gap, the financial gap. With the difference between the financial gap with white Americans and colored Americans is they understand how to use a life insurance policy, where people of color don't understand. We run away from the concept of it because we're living in survival. We should be understanding the power of a life insurance policy and how it benefits us, especially if we want what we call in the trending topic, generational wealth. It starts there, right? So it's important for us to understand all the tools. And this is what Credit Snitch, the amount of information and so much more for all of our clients to understand what it is to build wealth, how to protect our families, how a life insurance works, how a 401k works, and so much more. So to answer your question, and I know I've gone beyond that, but yes, you must pay your bills before the statement close date is the most powerful time to do it, because you're going to knock down that amount, and you're going to also knock down your interest rate.
Okay, thank
Anyone
you.
else? You're so welcome. I hope that was clear.
Angelique, one along the same lines. Does it matter if you pay, I pay in full all the time. I just use my credit cards for miles. But I have it on an auto set to pay on the due date, just a minimum amount, just in case I forget. So I do that, and I do,
Safety net.
yeah, and then I pay full. So is there any, like, if any, what are the concerns with paying in full all the time? Do they hate that
Yeah.
because they're not making any money?
Yes. So what happens with paying in full, you're treating it like a charge card. You're better off getting an American Express Platinum like myself. I love it so much. It gives me amazing perks. Or even a Chase Sapphire, you get amazing perks. So you pay it all down at the end of the month. For other credit cards, you got to pay to play. If they're not getting a finance charge, they're not giving you higher limits. You want to be powerful, right? You want higher limits. So you got to pay to play. You got to leave a little balance 1 month, pay it down to 0 for the next 2, 3, 4 months. And then you also, not every credit card will shut down if you don't use it after 6 months, but a lot of them do. So even if you hate a certain credit card, you hate to use it, but you must keep it active, pay, make a little purchase for $25, $30 every 5 months, okay? And then just throw it in the drawer. Throw it in your drawer, leave it there, but put in a calendar reminder, right, on your phone. Hey, it's time to use this credit card, because if you don't, you will lose it potentially. And then you lose all that history, and you were unaware of the fact that you hit the 6-month mark, because that's what it takes, 6 months not to use a credit card for it to shut down in most cases. And then I usually leave it for 5 months. I have this old open sky card that I opened up. I don't even use that card. It's a $300 limit, but I engage it every 6 months to keep it open, right? So there are some measly credit cards around that you may have. Please engage them. Please don't shut them down. Manage them, because it could potentially hold the life of your credit history, and you will lose points.
Got it. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Any other questions, guys? Any personal questions? Family member questions? And also, just so you guys know, we set up 4 national profiles for clients at Chase Private Client. What does that mean? We have 4 nationals who come in wanting to invest, and they're doing EB-5 visas, which Credit Snitch also has a division for that, and they don't have a credit profile. Okay, we can help them once they have their visa and they have a social security number. We can help set up their profiles in as little as 4 to 5 months and save them hundreds of thousands of dollars on a loan. Okay, if they just come in and start doing different types of loans, they're going to pay more in fees. The moment they see that you're resourceful and you can save them money, you're building a network, you're building trust. They're going to refer other foreign nationals, family members, friends, and there you go. Ultra wealthy, here we come. It's a new network, right? Now you've getting all the foreign nationals coming in and they're like, oh, you have to get with my credit lady, right? So you want to give them more money. You want to teach them how to get it here because not a lot of these programs, EB-5 programs are not holistic. I'm one of the first holistic programs with a major private equity company in Dallas. I'm the first, and it's exciting because we should be educating the people to the racket of the credit system here. You know, not everyone deserves to pay Uncle Sam and everybody else and their mother for hard-earned money. We need to be our brother's keeper. And in turn, it rewards us for being people who care about people who are around us and in our networks, right? You're trustworthy because you care. Anybody else? This is really
No, I
great
think that's great.
information. It's really
I
great
think it's
information,
great.
Eva. Like, thank you for having me. It's important for me to share this with you guys because you can be powerhouses in your own right. Once you lock this down and
Yeah,
people understand that you care, woo,
absolutely.
they open it up to you. It's amazing.
And just so everybody on the call knows, Colby sends out an email with your information, and we post all of our calls on our YouTube channel. So if you want to share it with somebody, if you want to go back and re-listen, it's there. And I heard you say earlier, Angelique, if anybody on the call specifically wants to look at their personal credit score or wants to have a one-on-one conversation, you've invited them to do so. So
Yes.
we truly, truly appreciate that.
Yes, with a
Um,
30% discount as well, if they decide to join service, because they get to go through the
sure,
process and win, right? Try it out. You'll see.
absolutely.
It's great.
And then Colby, I know, said that if she had some time towards the end of the call, she was going to chat a little bit about what we have coming up. Because as you guys know, we have these series every other Monday. Cole, are you there? I don't, because I apologize, guys. I'm on my car, taking this call from my car, which I don't usually do.
I am
So
here. I did just drop some links so you can subscribe to our YouTube, which I dropped in the chat. And then once you subscribe, you'll get a notification when we upload the video with Angelique later. And we'll also send out an email. If you don't see it in your inbox, definitely check your spam because we definitely have been running into that where we just, as much as we try, be as human as possible, like these emails just still land in spam. So, our next call is on August 11th with Linnea Carver. She is a coach that helps agents build systems that really help them grow their business. She's fantastic. I attended one of her trainings recently. There was like 75 agents on it. Definitely come check it out. She's awesome, especially if you really, really thrive in a systems environment or interested in building a systems environment in your business. And then, as you can see, we've got another couple lined up because we release our lineups quarterly. So these are the speakers that we have for the rest of the next couple months. Some really awesome stuff. Door knocking, how can residential agents build their business with commercial real estate referrals? How can you host webinars, to help first-time home buyers understand, the process? Actually, what we learned today would be super relevant to, integrating into a first-time home buyer webinar. I see a lot of synergy between what we learned today and educating buyers in a first-time home buyer webinar. So definitely tune in. I dropped the links. You can RSVP to all of them. You can RSVP to whichever individual ones, tickle your fancy. And that's that. And hope everyone has a really
uh,
good week.
I just
Thank
want to
you for
jump in
having
here,
me.
Cole.
Yeah?
I want to say before we jump, thank you very much to Angelique. And if there's any topic or person on the call that wants, if you're interested in a very specific topic, we're always open to hearing suggestions. If it's you yourself, if you specialize in something that you think would be valuable to share, don't hesitate to reach out to us. I heard Angelique speak on another call and I just thought, wow, this is great. let me see if, she'd be willing to share with us as well. And she was so generous to say yes right away. So thank you
Yeah.
all around.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a great
Bye.
day.
See you guys soon.
See ya.
Bye.